Bett back. Good morning, Atlanta. How's everybody doing this morning? We got a lot of energy. I got one very important question for you. Are you ready for the OTA original Team Arrow? That is what I like to hear. You guys asked for this panel for a long time. This is the first OTA panel done by Heroes and Villains. And I think some people may contest this. This is the first ever planned OTA panel ever. You guys all get to be a part of it just by being here. So, let's not waste any more time. Let's bring out my panel guests. Starting first, she is making her first U.S. Heroes and Villains appearance. You know her as Felicity Smoke. Please welcome the lovely Emily Bett Rickards. Next up, everybody's favorite Diggle, Mr. David Ramsey. And of course, last but certainly not least, he is Oliver Queen himself, now Mr. 2-0, Stephen Amell. I know the fans are excited for this. Very excited for this. I'm excited to join you guys on stage. I just had the pleasure of finally meeting you for the first time all week.
That was crazy. Remember that?
I do remember that. It was almost like it was yesterday.
Sorry.
Or today.
Did you introduce David as everybody's favorite digger?
Everybody's favorite digger. I can't take credit for that. Somebody recommended me to do that, so that's what I did.
Eagle is a noun.
Verb, also adjective. Any way you want to use it.
But Stephen, I introduced you as Mr. 2-0.
That's right.
How are you feeling this weekend?
I woke up this morning feeling surprisingly good, right? So I mean, I'll probably hop back in the ring immediately.
I was actually kind of bummed. I didn't know you were going to be wrestling this weekend. I was at SummerSlam when you made your first appearance and went 1-0.
Yeah, well,
That was fun.
it's a high bar, but
Exactly.
oh man, honestly, everyone in this audience has been a fan of something their entire life, and wrestling in San Antonio, wrestling in Brooklyn a couple of years ago, it really is like getting a chance to live your dream. I'm definitely not a professional wrestler. I'm not good.
Hold your own.
I can fake it, right? I can fake it for like 30 seconds bursts, and then I have to like hop out of the ring and go. But anyway, it is a little bit addictive, so we'll see. That's right, man.
Emily, I mentioned that this is your first U.S. Heroes and Villains. What has this experience been like for you? And what's it like going to events like this and interacting with the fans?
Well, first of all, it never becomes not shocking or surprising. I'm super grateful to see all of you. I don't think it ever gets normal. It's always a beautiful surprise to meet all of you. I don't know. I feel like kind of like Steven. This morning, feeling great. I'm ready to do another day. It's been really fun. I saw a bunch of Funkos I've never seen before. Who Funkos? Let's go. Le Funko, le Monitor, le Funko.
Stephen and David, you guys are no strangers to Heroes and Villains, and well, I pose the same question to you. What's it like always coming to these events and interacting with the fans?
You know what my favorite part is? You probably get this too. When you meet younger fans and they're with their parents, there is a look exchange between parents after you meet their kiddos that's like, and I especially get it when it's like a dad and you've met his son or his daughter and you've made their day, but you've also made them a cooler dad, right? And it's a look, you shake their hands, they don't shake your hand, they just go. And honestly, man, that's my favorite part because I know that if the shoe was on the other foot and I was bringing my daughter to meet like for example, our friend Colin, who played Tommy on the show, his wife is starring in the Frozen musical that's premiering on Broadway in the early part of next year. And I'm definitely going to take Maddie, and we'll definitely take her backstage, and we'll meet Patty, who is Anna, and I will look at Colin afterwards, and I'll go. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You know something? I mean, we do talk about this a lot. We kind of do this in a box, all the three of us. We kind of really almost we're in a box. It's in a box. And so we used to work a lot more than I do, but you know, it's 10, 12 hours a day.
Not this year.
Not this year. And so when we get out here and we're able to touch you guys and hear your stories, I never take your stories for granted. We never take your stories for granted. You know, TV is a very intimate thing. Like we come into your house, you know, so it's an interesting relationship we have with you guys. And this is the only time we get to touch you, so it means a lot to me, and I never take it for granted. So I'm grateful.
Another funny, I totally got it.
I'm just watching. This is fun. You know, I'm
Was the coming into your home a little weird? Was that a little weird for you?
It was like it's the touching part.
That was the touching part. Jiggle in the living room ain't hot. Is that hot? It's hot for some people.
Now, David, you and I share something sort of in common, as this past week, Thursday was my birthday, and Friday was your birthday.
Right.
So, of course, being FanFest, all the great people at FanFest love to do something special for people's birthdays.
Oh.
So what is that?
It's a lemon loaf cake. Yes, I love yellow.
It's a hat. Wear it as a hat.
Thank you.
Put it on your
But what the hell is that? I don't know what it is.
Is it good?
Okay, there you go. No, I'm good.
There's so much sugar. Oh my god. It's good.
It's
good.
like
It's like
I think my
sugar and yellow number 7.
yeah. I think I just hurt my back again.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
oh.
Just everybody, real quick, wish David a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you. Very nice.
So we do definitely have people lined up for questions in the audience. Being FanFest, we're going to give them.
There's so much sugar.
You want some coffee? You want?
I got the shakes a little bit.
You look good.
All right, we'll turn it over to audience questions. We'll try and get through as many of them as we can. So we'll start over here. What's your name? Oh, we'll start actually right here up front.
My jacket is so cool. Thank you. Did you see this? Oh, I'm sorry. One second. Let me present it. Oh, Steven, where did I get
Oh.
this? Where did I get this? You're about to find out.
Okay.
Please take 5.
Steven, my name's Bett, and I have a question.
Okay.
Do you ever wear anything that doesn't have knocking point on the Blue Jays?
I'm not wearing a single piece of Knocking Point clothing right now, but only because we don't make Knocking Point underwear yet.
Well, like Emily, I can take.
Oh, look at that
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Wow.
Thank you. This is our new album cover. Great.
Oh.
I guess I can actually support
There you
the
go.
knocking point.
I'm glad that somebody up here has some knocking points.
I got the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes wine socks on. So.
Clearly underrepresented.
All right, we'll start. We'll go back here again. What's your name and what's your question?
I'm Abby. I have a question and a comment. Comment, I love you.
It's a beautiful start of a relationship. Hi.
And my question is, what are all y'all's favorite OTA scenes ever?
Just found out what OTA is.
Is that true?
I want to be called Oats. Instead of OTA, I want to be called Oats.
The OTA?
No, like Oats, like the cereal.
Okay.
Thank you. I just want one thing for Christmas or holiday season. That's it.
What's your favorite scene? Do you have a favorite scene?
Episode season 1, 14, David sleeping on the floor.
And the close.
That was funny, but it wasn't that funny.
It was funny, scary. 5 years later, very funny, not so much scary.
Can't stand these people.
Them in their matching jackets.
My favorite OTA moment was end of season 2, walking on the beach. Yeah, that was nice.
Really season 2?
That was the end of season
That's
2.
not like this.
And we were all on the beach walking together.
So innocent.
I enjoyed it.
I'm the same episode but for a different reason.
You got to sleep the entire episode?
Yeah, I could just sleep the entire episode. Aside from the super involved and difficult flashbacks. But I liked that first episode, your first episode in the bunker, for a variety of reasons. But mostly it was just hearing you and David work together for, I think, probably the first time. The first time with any sort of, extensive, dialogue together. Which is why, even though I'm in a coma, if you look closely, there's a little bit of a smile on your face.
There was one part where you actually kept laughing, but you were supposed to be like dead on the table.
I've gotten a lot better about cracking up.
Besides last week,
Oh, yeah.
let's talk about
Aside from last week, David and I both shot our coverage for a scene.
totally
Yeah,
seems
we were
almost
done. Our
like-
coverage was done.
And then for no reason, we both just lost it on Emily's coverage. I actually
Couldn't get a word out.
felt legitimately bad.
Like sometimes
They started
I have to
cutting their
look
own
at.
tapes.
Sometimes I look at Stevens. You gotta look very closely at me when we have scenes with Steven because most of the time I'm looking at just above his left eyebrow. I'm not looking at him right in the eye because he does things to me.
Do you have a question here up front?
Hi.
Hi, I have a special delivery from Big Belly Burger for you guys.
You're kidding me.
Whoa!
Do you mind if I take and give it to you?
Yes,
No,
please.
Please do, please do.
Oh my goodness. Oh my.
Big belly round of applause, please. Big belly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, it's
Thank you.
Between this and the cake, we're off to a good start this morning.
It's awesome.
So glad I'm not vegan. Wait. Oh.
Can you actually eat it? Is it true? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna eat it. It's gonna be great. Not on stage. Very,
Oh, you saved it for special time.
very personal, but yeah. I like to be alone with my
Thank you.
burgers.
That That was very thoughtful.
Are you opening yours now? No, you are. I was just curious.
Should I be doing this thing?
In the meantime, we'll take another question. We'll go over to this side here.
Hi, my name's Cindy, and I have a comment and a question. First of all, Stephen, I wanted to tell you just killed it in Ninja Warrior last year.
Yes, you did.
And the question is, if you had a chance to do it again, would you? And would Emily and David join you?
Well, I mean,
You're all in great shape enough to
the second part first. I like to think I'm sort of strong. David's way stronger than me. And Emily is way stronger than both of us. Right? She's a crazy person.
It's quite true.
I see your videos when you post them, and some of your workouts are just nuts.
Yeah, I talked about this last night there was like a theme at the wine party last night, which is basically like, I do sort of want to stay in my lane. Like, it was fun to go and do Celebrity Ninja Warrior, but I don't think it's necessarily my next career move, right? So if NBC was doing it again from a charitable aspect, from a celebrity aspect, then absolutely. If they thought that I could benefit the greater good, then for sure. But I don't know that it's my, I don't know that learning how to do the pegboard is my next, is my next step.
I believe in you. I think it's the next step. I'm ready. I'm ready to see you do it.
I'm ready to see you do it.
I will have to
All right, we'll go back over at this side here.
Hi.
What's your favorite animal? What's your favorite science?
What's your favorite animal and what's your favorite kind of science?
My favorite animal is my dog. Specifically, my dog. And then my favorite, oh, please continue. No, that wasn't you.
No, we're good.
Okay. Science?
Science, yeah, what's your favorite kind of science?
I thought it was just, no, I'm kidding. Chemistry is a great margarita maker.
Just in case my daughter watches YouTube clips of this panel, my favorite animal is a unicorn. Followed narrowly by sloths. And my favorite kind of science is princess magic.
Princess Magic?
No, that's...
Yes, David.
You didn't take Princess Magic in high school?
Of course I did.
Yeah. Wow, it's an elective.
My favorite animal is the penguin. People who know penguins know why. My favorite science is the science of love. My favorite science is...
We come into your houses and science of love, getting to touch, I don't... If we just did a massive cut of this, we are...
Yeah, we're in trouble. Biology.
Hi, thank you guys for coming. This is a difficult,
You're welcome.
a difficult question for me, but a few months ago, Stephen, you had somebody post negative comments on your Facebook, and you made a video that had an impact on me and several of your followers. You said, quote, "I feel bad, not for me, but for you. I grew up abused, so it's really a foreign concept to me. Can you give some insight how you firmly believe that?" Thank you.
That if someone's being negative, that I don't feel bad for me or the person that's attacking me. I feel bad for them.
Yes.
Well, look. I mean, notoriety and being visible in the public spectrum is an interesting thing. We as actors, I don't think anyone on this stage ever had the objective of becoming famous, but we did have the objective of working. And if you work and you get a little bit of notoriety, you understand that for a room like this, that's filled with so many people with positive feelings, there's always going to be a couple of people that are super negative. But I see that happen, and I think back to moments like this, and rooms like this, and days like yesterday, where I met yesterday probably give or take 1,200 people, 1,500 people, and I had 1,200 to 1,500 incredibly positive interactions. Yeah. So when I see something like that happen, I think to myself, okay, whatever I'm doing, probably doing it the right way, and whatever's happening with this person, it has nothing to do with me. So you think to yourself, I'm not going to take that personally at all, and I'm going to have empathy for them. And that's just the way that I like to live my life. So I'm glad that that had a positive impact. You're welcome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cammy. I first like to say to Emily, thank you for coming to Atlanta.
Woo!
Great weekend. Thank you for having us. Everybody in the city loves you. My question's for you, but I'll open it up to everybody else as well. I really enjoyed this weekend getting to see and talk to a few mini Felicities running around. I saw one a second ago. And ask them why they love Felicity. I shared that with you yesterday. But my question is, what message would you like to share with young kids who look up to your character, and Stephen and David, your characters as well? Because I'm sure you guys met some mini Olivers and mini Diggles as well.
The phrase mini Diggle.
I own it.
Company should be called Mini Diggle. We're doing it wrong if that doesn't exist yet. I was talking to my friend Pauline about this yesterday, of how when I was their age, I would watch TV and I would look at these women on TV who seemed so much older than me, and I would just look at them and go like, yes, that's awesome. What they're doing is awesome. I relate to this person. You watch people in different scenes, it feels like you're a part of it. And if you can relate to that and you feel good about that, you're kind of going to be able to go out into the world and relate to people better, I think. That's how I look at it. And we were talking about this yesterday, and I was like, man, I remember when I was that age, I was like, that person is so old. And I'm looking at these little girls going like, I really hope that you get to do what you want and you make it, where you want to go. And where you want to go will change, and who you want to be will hopefully stay the same. And just strive to be the better version of yourself all the time, because I think that looking at that from a young age and sort of just with a smile on your face, it's priceless to me, meeting these girls. It really is.
How about you two?
Any Diggles?
Yeah, mini Diggles.
Sorry, what's the question?
What do you want to tell the mini Diggles in the future?
The mini Diggles.
Yeah.
The Diglets. I like that one. I don't know. We all are here. We're pretty fortunate, and I would just say, start where you are. Just be who you are where you are. Be the most authentic version of yourself. I can't echo it better than you. I grew up in Detroit, and it was tough where I was, but it was just a situation where you just kind of decide that in this place, at this time, I'll be the best me I can be. And it took me someplace else. And I would say to anybody who wants to do anything, start where you are. There's a school where you are. There's an acting class where you are. There's a photography class where you are. You don't have to run off away yet. Learn what you can, help somebody when you can, where you are. And be true to yourself. That'd be what I would tell them to do.
All I would say to the people that aspire to be like Oliver, first and foremost, it goes without saying, avoid murder. Having said that, if you're going to look at Oliver, one of the things that I like about him is I enjoy his faults. So if you're going to aspire to his resolve and you know, his drive and his loyalty and the way that he loves the people in his life, you should also look at the way that his stubborn nature and the way that his tunnel vision has negatively impacted him. You should look at him the whole way. You should admire his strength, but also don't look past his faults, because I think that that will help you take a clearer look at yourself. Right.
We'll send it back over to this side here.
Hi, I'm Panell, and I have a question for Emily. Will we see Felicity, Kate, and James come face to face anytime soon?
Well, Kaden and Felicity mostly interact via a screen. So I hope so. As an actor, I've asked for it. I think we build to it. I think there's no way to get around that. I also think it would be extremely, extremely fun.
Yes.
All right, we'll send it back over to the side.
Hi, I'm Aurora. First of all, I want to say, Emily, you look really pretty tonight. I mean, you always look pretty, but especially pretty tonight. Yeah, okay. So my question is, so Oofy, Ophelia, is
I know her, yeah. She's mine.
my favorite member of the Arrow cast.
Yes, me too.
So who does she love more? David or Steven?
She loves David. She runs across the set. Like, she ran into the screen door of his trailer was closed, but Opie didn't know. Booked it up the stairs and bounced back off, and then stood there and just waited to be let in. And I heard this bang.
I laughed so hard.
I didn't know where she was. She was just like, you know, roaming around having a good time. And all I hear is this bang. I was like, oh, no. And all I hear is Echo give her, huh? What was that? I just saw fur. Somebody just saw it. And I was like, where's my dog? So that's a true story.
True story.
She doesn't.
Ophelia loves me.
First of all, she does love Steve.
She doesn't dislike me. I don't know that she loves me, though.
Yeah. You gotta work for her love. Like, she's not like a dog, she's like, I love you. She like, you gotta work for it. You gotta work for it.
She's more like a cat.
She's a person. This dog is a person. Case in point.
Earn it.
Yeah. I should have brought her.
All right, thank you. Over to the side.
Hi, my name is Sammy from Brooklyn. Happy birthday, David. Scorpio season. I have two questions. For Steven, are we ever going to find out how Oliver got custody of William legally? And for Emily, I'd like to ask, because we've heard Steven tell the story about meeting you for the first time and how you did your thing, and he thought you were fantastic. But we've never heard your version of that first meeting, first filming story, so I think we would like to hear that too.
The William question first. William's grandparents they're not the great unknown, but there's always a gap in time. So we've alluded to the fact that Samantha Watson has alluded to the fact that we claim that William's mother, Samantha, died in a car crash under suspicious circumstances. We haven't gone over her parents or how Oliver came to have custody of her. And that would be a very, very interesting story to go through. And I don't think that we can, I think that the longer that we go with William, his son, we're gonna keep going with him. They're not dating. That's going to be something that we will have to explore. And I'm pretty good about that. When I feel like there's an elephant in the room in terms of story not being told, there's been a big part of, I can't reveal it, but there's been a big part that sort of existed for me in episode 10, 11, and we're filming 12 right now. We're finishing up 11. And I address that with the writers. I'm like, okay, this has gone past the point of being an elephant in the room. This is something that I feel like we need to expand upon, and we normally do. So I think that we'll get to that eventually.
Okay, so it was August 8th. I walked in, lights were shut. We were like a block and a half away from my house, and I had to go like 4 blocks away to go for, hair and makeup and that. And then I rolled up, and Steven was in one of the rooms with like a bunch of his best buddies that I know. But I like walked in and just sort of like, hi, I'm here for the camera. You won't remember me. And he was like just so nice and charming, and I was like, can you stop talking to me? I just want to do my work. Because I was so nervous. I was so nervous, and I was like ready to play, and you're just so kind, and you're like, sit, have a coffee, do all this, and I was like, I can't eat, I can't drink, I just need to do my lines. So I was like, I need to act. And so I was just like tunnel vision. And then I walked out of there, and I called Fanta, I called my best friend. She's like, how was it? I was like, don't remember anything. Don't remember anything that happened. She was like, Kate, do you want to go get a drink? And I was like, yeah. And then I never thought I'd be back. I honestly never thought I'd be back. I left that day, I called my team, and I was like, yeah, it went really well. Like, gonna go back to the dog shop, do a couple hours at work, and then, took the dog around, went for a drink with Fanta, and woke up a couple days later, and they asked me to come back for episode 5, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to quit my job. And then my boss at the dog shop was like, you have to quit, I'm not gonna fire you. I tried to keep it for the whole first season. She's like, you have to quit. She's like, you don't show up, you're not quit. So, thank you. Yeah, it was really nice meeting you.
I'm sorry that I kept talking.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
All right, over to the side.
Hi, the question I want to ask is for everyone on the panel. When did you make the decision that acting was for you, and what allowed you to persevere until you got your first paid gig?
I persevered because everyone told me to have a plan B, and I was like, no. And I was like, what's a plan B? That doesn't make any sense. I knew when I was a kid, but my parents were both in medicine, and my mom was like, can you please stop reciting things that you saw on the TV? I'm in theater school. And that was about it. She's like, stop doing lines to me off the TV. I never told you that. That's not even you. I'm saying these things.
Go ahead.
For me, I knew when I was about 14, which was a long, long time ago. And,
Specifically, 75 years ago.
I don't know, I always wanted to play football. And then I watched my brother, who's an artist, he did a play. I just wanted to emulate him, really. And then I really felt like I could do it, and I became more interested in it. Just from there, I kept going. So about 14 years old.
I was 28 and a half. I've been acting for like 5-6 years, but if you look at the jobs that I'd done before then, you could never tie job A to job B. I would get a job, be maybe okay at it, but I was in it for the wrong reasons. I was in a long-term relationship at the time. That relationship ended, and I took stock of what was important in my life. Like, I literally sat down and I wrote a list. It was family, friends, my dog Louie, and acting. And so I shedded everything that I had that I could, and I drove to Los Angeles in a smart car. That's a true story, by the way. I was a spin instructor at the time. Yeah, and that was it, man. I was pursuing it for the right reasons, and ironically, and I'm being truthful when I say this, I don't just because we have this job and things are going great, I don't feel like I've made it. I feel like I'm in the first chapter still. It's not I feel like with this show, whenever it ends, it's not the end. It's like, it's not the beginning of the end, but maybe it's the end of the beginning. That's the cool thing about acting to me, is that I feel like I get an opportunity every year and every day that I go to the Aero set to become better, and that's why I love what I do.
Good question. Thank you. Moving over to the second question.
Hi, my name is Joey, and because Felicity's nickname is Overwatch, but I was wondering if it says, any of you heard or even played the game Overwatch?
I have not.
I've watched it be played while I drink up. So in turn, I play. It's like that's the way I suspect. My team.
No, I'm not. Aside from Clash Royale, I'm not a gamer because I become myopic and I become like super hyper competitive, and it will destroy my life. Is it a good game?
Yeah, it's a really good game.
Cool.
You got merchandise.
I bet they do. Paul, do you know that Paul Blackthorne is in that new Star Wars video game? They made him like 20-year-old Paul Blackthorne. And Janina, who played McKenna Hall on season 1, is one of the leads in it. So I'm so excited for her. Very cool.
Right, over to the side.
Hi, I was wondering, since I shoot archery left-handed, if you have ever tried left-handed and if you're any good at it.
I have, and I'm not.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Over here.
Hey, my name is Arthur, and I'm really excited to be here. So the crossover episode is coming up. Woo! My friend Kira and I wanted to play 2 truths and a lie about the crossover episode.
Oh, yes! The word crossover is like Voldemort.
Yeah, the second that you said crossover, my back started hurting again. I'm exhausted now. 2 truths and 1 lie about the crossover.
I'm in it.
Okay, you do yours, and then I'll do mine. Okay.
I'm in it. I'm not in it. I don't know how to play this game. I'm in it. I'm not in it. Oliver and Felicity kiss. I'll tell you what the lie is. For a prize.
I think we all know what the lie is.
No, you don't.
I'm sorry.
We don't even know each other. Just putting me on the spot like this? In front of all my friends? It's embarrassing.
We'll wait and see.
Okay, 2 truths and a lie about the crossover.
Hablando del crossover, que va a decir dos
Okay.
verdades y 2 mentiras.
I hand Felicity a gun.
Que le da una pistola.
Oliver and Cara share a passionate kiss. And we do not spend any time whatsoever in Star City.
Y que no descubra ningún piso en Star City.
No, I'm so good at this game.
I'm terrible at this game. But I think I got it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oliver and Felicity share a passionate kiss. Oliver and Kara share a passionate kiss.
Oliver y el un beso.
Yes.
And Oliver and Diggle share.
Dos verdades y una mentira.
I think I like this game. I think I know this game very well.
He's better at this game than me!
So, I think
I think we can safely say it'll be a great episode. Thank you so much.
Let's figure it out.
We're gonna have to reshoot the entire crossover.
How do we top that? All right,
How do we not say the word crossover for the rest of this?
If you can ask questions about upcoming episodes, if people can avoid saying the word crossover, we would really appreciate it.
If you could call it something that we all love, like just all like, hey, that episode.
That's coming up. That special thing that you guys did. Yeah, man, what's up?
Steven, what's the hardest stunt you've ever had to do?
Episode 1, Season 2. I had to swing down and grab Felicity off of the, oh shoot, the land. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. It is Sunday. Yeah, and I had to swing from very high, and they weren't gonna let me do it. And I was very like derisive and made them let me do it, and yeah, they didn't let me do it. And then I got up in the tree and I was like, oh, this was the worst thing. It's so high. And actually, there was this was not the most difficult stunt, but the most scary stunt that I've ever done is in episode 9 this year. It's not gonna seem like a lot, but I had to be, I was wearing a harness, and they had to lift me up, and they had lifted me 20 feet in the air. And what they were doing in the stunt is they're dropping me into a room, Ethan Hunt style, like from Mission Impossible, the first Mission Impossible. And rising up wasn't the scary part, and going down wasn't the scary part, but when I was 20 feet in the air, even though I'm harnessed in really well, you have to invert me. And as you're doing it, all I can hear is all of the hook points on the harness going. So scary. So scary. And then I found out how scary the stunt guys found it, and I felt better about the fact that I almost peed my pants. Anyway, so what's the next question?
Hi there. I was wondering if any of you were ever interested in directing an episode, and if you, what would push you towards that or pull you away from it?
My ultimate goal is to have both of the people sitting next to me direct an episode. I think that'd be awesome. I want no part of it whatsoever.
Yeah, I think I've expressed interest in directing an episode. What will push me toward that is just adding something to the story. What I have to add to the story is I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of the show. I'm a fan of these characters. I'm a fan of the mythos that we've all created. So I would love to be a part of that. And when you're on the set, it's such a collaborative effort that unless you just aren't present, you're learning so much just on the job. And just it's so much respect for so many people's departments. The wardrobe, the costume, the script department, the camera department, the lighting department. It's just so much you're learning as an actor. So I don't know. I would love to be on that other side of the camera too, because I'm also a fan of these characters. Yeah.
The answer is absolutely yes for me. I'm excited for when David directs. I'm excited for when Steven stops crying about it and actually directs. The answer is yes, absolutely. Like, we have such an amazing crew. I'm happy to go to work every single day, every day, and hang out with these people, like maybe 150, 200 people we work with every day. Is that right? And every single person is someone I look forward to seeing. And to be able to take on a different department, play a different role in sort of this machine that we all collaborate and work on together and as like a family is just like kind of fun. It's like sitting in a different chair at the table. It's like, you know, sitting in a different chair at the table. And I think they're really great. We need more women directors. We have about 3 this season, I think. 4 out of 2023, but some directors come back. And so yeah, I just think it'd be really great. I have an issue. I want to do everything, so I'm like, put me in there. I'll do sound today. I'll do set deck today. What are you looking?
You know what would be great is when you direct an episode, sitting in on the casting for the guest stars. That would be pretty cool.
Casting is like
You know, I want no part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, over here.
Madison, if Rainbow Dash and Green Arrow were like to get into a battle, who would win, and would all of OTA be involved?
I'm gonna leave that to you. Green Arrow.
Can you help me out, please? What are Rainbow Dash's superpowers?
She can fly really, really fast.
Okay.
And she's magical.
We got like
Princess Magic?
Yes. And she's cool.
I'm sorry, what are you trying to say? Addison?
I like Emily better.
I love you, Addison. That was awesome. I am awake.
Addison, are you Team Princess Magic?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I'm on your team.
Yes.
I'm on your team too.
And if we were to face off Arrow with Princess Magic, we would win.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go over there. Let's have a chat. Let's do some magic, and then we'll fight the Green Arrow.
Yeah, I could come up with a great battle plan, but it's clear that I've already lost. Thank you for your question, Addison. No hard feelings.
Actually, unfortunately, we are.
Like we do.
One more. Okay, we'll do one more.
Thank you.
Okay, my name's Mariah. My question is for the whole panel. Each of you sing a part of your favorite song from the 80s.
You shouldn't have roller skates. You got a brand new key. Is that 60s? Whatever.
I don't know.
It's either before the 80s, but that's it. Mostly because it's.
Come on, Eileen, to come on, Eileen, to oh, Eileen.
That is a hard act to follow.
You didn't have to face off against Addison.
Oh, Addison is great. 80s.
You lie.
Billie Jean is not my lover.
Sing it.
She's just a girl who says that I am the one. But the kid, not my son. Dramatic numbers.
No!
Barry Allen.
All right, well, David, Steve, and Emily, thank you so much for joining me on stage. Thank you to all the fans and your questions.